Social Media Angel Nudge on exploring content creation. And this is a longer nudge, and I wanted to go through the different content types, how we can get comfortable with those content types, and how we can create relationships. Nurture sequences is a phrase that's used in the marketing world to get people to understand and know you, your services, and your products. Because if we don't tell them, how are people going to know? And so what we do is we create this content in order to be able to let people know, to let people in, to gain people's trust. And when we're coming at it from this place of authenticity, which is hard for a lot of people because we're so influenced by things that we see and hear online, how we're told to be, how we're told to behave. So it's about kind of throwing some of that old programming out of the window and breaking through our fears of being judged, of what we're doing, and being seen. It's hard to be seen, it's hard to shine. And the content that we create is the way that we do it, and it's easy to hide behind some of it too. But when we're really in that place of authentic expression around what we're really doing in the real world and what our real service is and what we're here to do, what our mission is, then we really do connect with our tribe. So I just thought we'd run down the different content types and why some of them work for some of us and why they don't for others, and how they work in the environment that is social media. So the first thing I was going to talk about is video. Now, video is one of the hardest things for a lot of people because we really do have to break through the fear, and a lot of us aren't natural kind of TV presenters. And for me, it was a real struggle to begin with. It took me probably 6 months to get past my fear of doing video. And the way I was able to do it was to actually imagine that I was on Skype or on FaceTime with a client or a friend, because I was totally happy doing that. If I was totally happy doing that, then I could be totally happy doing this. And that's how I broke through my personal fear of it. Like the first time I did video, I was like script, like physically afraid, like really blocked here, like I could really just feel it. It was awful. And it wasn't until I was just like, I don't care actually if people see this or they don't see this. I just practiced and I just started making them, and then I got into a really nice place with it. And it's the same. I'm going to put up a video in the group around that I talked with Lisa Lister, and it's something that I discussed in the chat with Gail as well. That just getting that repetition, getting that consistency allows you to keep practicing, and remembering you don't have to be perfect either. And then we've got live. And live is a different kettle of fish. Now, I am personally quite stuck around doing live in my page environment or in a different environment for some reason. So it's about exploring that. Like, why have you got those fears there? Now, the reason that video is a good thing to do, if you can break through that fear, is it creates a connection that other content doesn't, because you can actually see and hear and experience somebody. Also, on a platform like Facebook, you get an increased reach on video, and if you're doing live, it's like the gates are open even wider when it comes to the algorithm. So I had an example with a page that I manage where we've got 160,000 fans on the page, and we post a video every week, and we're probably hitting half of that audience with a weekly video, probably hitting 60,000 people in terms of the algorithm. Now, we did a Facebook Live to the same audience, and we reached nearly 500,000 people with that one Facebook Live, and we didn't do anything that different. It was just the fact that it was a live, so there's a difference from 60,000 to 500,000 because it was live. Now, it's not always going to be that way. Facebook want to beat Periscope. They also want to win the video war against YouTube. They want to be the best. They want to be the highest performing. And so they give those content types an extra push. And that leads me into the other content types quite nicely, because something like links, in my experience, most of the pages that I manage don't perform so well, because you're actually taking people away from the Facebook environment, which is not really what Facebook want you to do. Or they want you to pay them to leave that environment. So when you're thinking about the content that you're creating, it's also, being aware of these things with like the algorithm. And then we've got video, we've got blogging. So if you're blogging and writing is your thing and writing is your passion, and for many of you who are in my tribe who are authors, like writing is your passion, you should absolutely be sharing your writing, because you can connect maybe in a way that you can't do in video, because that's where your creative expression lies. So then throw the idea of video out the window if it makes you feel super uncomfortable, because if you're feeling uncomfortable when you're creating your content, you're not going to be in that right vibe to attract your tribe. So if writing is your thing, then commit to doing a blog, whether that's a weekly, a bi-weekly, a fortnightly blog, or a monthly blog, which you can then post in full on Facebook. So you get a lot more interaction on Facebook if you post the blog in full with an image than if you post like a paragraph and then a link out from the site. Like I said, it's either the way that people just interact with links because they feel that they might be being sold to and it's not just the content, or whether it's to do with the algorithm too. So people like pictures and people interact with pictures. If you're getting your text with a nice image, then that has the tendency to get shared more, liked more, and commented on more, which means you're then going to reach further, because the way that the algorithm works is that when somebody likes, comments, shares, engages with a post, Facebook thinks, people are liking this, so I'm going to show this to more people. So that's how that whole thing works. So when you're thinking about writing your blogs, think about it in its wholeness and how people are going to then engage with it in the Facebook environment. And then we've got memes, the ever popular image with a keyword of text on it. Now, how I will work with that is that's a kind of recycling job. So I will look at either videos or I will look at blogs, and I will extract the key one-liners that really connect here to post those to put those into a meme environment and share those. So then if we're then looking at, so those are your content types. If you've got a service or you've got a product that you're wanting to sell, then it's about making video or making a blog, making memes that are relevant to that product. And over the course of a month, a week, 3 months, whichever feels right to you in your environment, where you're at in your social media journey and how much your audience already know about you, then you create these little, I see them as rivers and streams of content that are all weaving in to tell a story, to tell people about this product, to get people to want to know about this product, want to know about your service and what you're doing. And you do that through sharing experience. You do that through sharing your knowledge. You can do that through even share, what was the reason you made this course? What were the questions that people were asking you over and over again in your business, in your day-to-day life, that made you want to create that course in the first place? And start to create content around things like that. So that's also a place where you're recycling what's happening in the real world to be happening in your social media world. It's not necessarily about posting a picture of your green smoothie or posting a picture of you out on a night out. We don't need to, we're not celebrities unless we really want to be. So it's not about sharing those moments for no reason. It's not about being one of the kids of Instagram. It's about, how are you serving your people? How are you serving your tribe? How do you serve people in your day-to-day life, in your day-to-day business? And how can you make the content that you're creating an extension of that in one of the formats that feels most comfortable and most enjoyable to you? And that, I think, is the biggest thing. And I think everyone says that one of the great things they love about working with me is around play. And so play with video. You don't have to post it on social media. Play with writing. Play with making memes and making nice graphics. There are great things out there, and we discuss it in the section on graphic design. But there's things like Rainbow Love and what else have we got? They've got a word swag, and there's loads of little apps out there you can get really creative with if that's your bag. You can get really creative with your words if that's your bag. You can get really creative with your videos if that's your bag. So play to your strengths, start to create content that makes sense, that has value, that ties into all the things that you're doing and all the things that you want people to know that you're doing in a way that feels really good for you and feel really good for them. And so what I'd really invite you to do is to sit down now with a piece of paper and write down some ideas, and whether that's video, whether that's blog, whether that's both, whether that's memes, and commit to making one piece of content to share with the group over this next to before we close on the 16th of October. That you make something that you think you're going to be able to make ongoing, that there's an idea for either an ongoing blog series, an ongoing video series, an ongoing meme series, or maybe it's all of those, depends on you. But I'd really invite you to use this group as the accountability to get that done, and I'm really excited in seeing what you've come up with. And use your 4 intentions to use the strategy questionnaire to look at what those products and things that you want to achieve through social media are, so you can pick on one of these content types to commit to doing, to then create in this next few weeks and share with us as a group to support each other around. And that is my nudge on exploring content creation.